Hey guys, it's Everett. It is May 15th, 2016 at 9:50 p.m. Pacific time. Today is my 4 years post-top surgery. Just to give y'all a quick look what 4 years is looking like with Dr. Garamoni. Here it is. It's really not too noticeable, but I wanted to make a video because recently one of my friends reached out to me and they're about to start T and they're very excited but also very nervous and wondering what my thoughts are, if I have any regrets about starting T, any thoughts, any feelings around T and surgery. And after some conversation and some reflection, I realized that I have a lot of things I wish I had known about or just been aware of. Not that that would have stopped me from starting T, just things that I wish I would have known in retrospect. One, I came from a pretty lesbian-dominated circle, and sort of the misogynistic, like, gold star lesbian and ew penis sort of mentality. So me coming out as trans was something that was very different. There weren't any trans people that I knew of, and that they knew of. Maybe one, maybe two, but not somebody who is as close to them. So that was pretty hard because I felt very attached to this lesbian community, and then kind of fell into like this I'm a straight man mentality and identity, and I really didn't know what that meant. And I links to the second point of this concept of masculinity and feeling like having to perform in a certain way or act a certain way, which within our society, this acceptance of masculinity is often rooted in like hyper masculinity and misogyny. So I think I kind of hit that groove and was in it for a little bit with maybe not misogynistic comments, but definitely feeling like I had to portray myself in a certain way, or I had to have certain mannerisms and talk a certain way, or I couldn't put a lot of emphasis in my words. I had to be monotone, I had to be emotionless, I had to be just this rigid concept of a man in order for people to take my identity seriously, in order for me to pass. And, 5 years on T almost, August 8th. Later, it's passing is not an issue, and it hasn't really been an issue since, maybe 6 months on T. If you go back through my videos, I'm sure there's some point where, like, maybe 4 months, I was pretty solid. So it really hasn't been an issue, but it's very hard for me to leave that lesbian circle and kind of go into this uncharted territory of what it means to be trans, what it means to be male, what it means to be queer, and suddenly realizing that, like, I could let go of all this rigid lesbian identity that I had and really accept, one, my gender identity, but also my sexual identity, and feeling attracted to men, or feeling attracted to people with penises, and not just people with vaginas, and what does it even mean, and exploring those parts of myself that I think had been shut down in some way. No hate on the lesbian community, but that was super hard, and navigating into now what I consider queer and feel very comfortable with, and I feel like I know a lot more queer people specifically now, so that's kind of where I feel most comfortable. But also with being on T and looking the way that I do, and if somebody doesn't see this little trans pendant and immediately know what that is and assume that I'm trans, most of the time I'm being perceived as this cis, normative, hetero male. And that's really hard. It's really hard because I don't feel like I fit that sort of assigned gender role expectation within United States society, but also within queer spaces. Being perceived that way is hard because I think that it feels threatening to have this white cis hetero man, or even cis gay man within a queer space. So I don't know necessarily how people are reading me always, but I'm sure that can feel pretty threatening. Oftentimes, I feel pretty threatened by white cis men, specifically, or people I perceive to be white cis men, and even, gay or straight. um, not bi men, I guess, if I know that, but just sort of where there is a lot of privilege, I feel. So that's something that's really hard, is being perceived as a threat, or being associated with a group of people that I kind of want to distance myself from, or I don't necessarily technically fit into, but I'm being lumped in with. So I think that I've grown to a point. I think a lot of my thoughts around what it means to be a man and masculinity were rooted in insecurity and feeling like, in order for me to pass and for people to take me seriously, that I have to behave or talk or act whatever in a specific way. And I think that also came out within my relationships and the way that I regarded women, not so much like in a sexual harassing, catcalling sort of way, but just the overall ignorance that I had towards women, and just sort of not really valuing people to my fullest extent. Just some thoughts in retrospect. All in all, very happy. I would not be on testosterone, but with testosterone and with surgery, the thing that I think I most frequently struggle with still, that those things did not fix, is my body image, specifically around my love handles. I feel pretty dysphoric about, and it's hard to know if this is gender dysphoria or dysmorphia, or just, poor self-image after years of it being ingrained in my head, and really never feeling like my body is something that is amazing, and my body is something that is incredible, and wow, look how strong my body is, and look how capable my body is, look at the awesome shit I get to do, and how much weight I can lift, and just how awesome and kick-ass it is, and how resilient it is. Those are thoughts that don't frequently run through my mind, and something that I'm really, really, really challenging myself to change. It's hard not placing my value, my self-worth at times with the number associated on the scale, or whether that be muscle mass or body fat percentage. It's been a very hard thing to break, and although surgery did take away a lot of my dysphoria, specifically the area with my hips, my love handles, bring me a lot of discomfort and a lot of self-consciousness, awareness, and just negativity. So that's something I've been working on, and I don't think that's something that testosterone can make go away for everyone. I think for some people, yeah, the fat redistributes, and you have a six-pack, and awesome, great for you. Or you get some manscaping surgery, or you get surgery of some kind and you feel awesome, that is fucking fantastic. Or if you don't need surgery at all, it's been an ongoing process with diet and exercise, and just a lot of help from my partner Katie, and within myself, and people online sometimes telling me that I look great, and trying to accept those compliments and really hear them and absorb them, rather than deflect them of oh yeah, whatever, this person's bullshitting me. Actually absorbing them and saying yeah, you know what, I do look awesome. So that's kind of all I had. It's really long. I tried to shorten this. I already recorded a 10-minute video, but this looks like it's going to be 10 minutes. So I hope this was informative in some way, shape, or form. After almost 5 years on T and 4 years post-op, I'm so happy. Overall, I described some relatively mixed negative things, but I wouldn't trade any of it. I'm very grateful to be alive and to share my narrative and my story in some way to hopefully reach at least one person, because I didn't really have that when I started. So it's amazing to see all of you out there and to hear the feedback you have. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I hope this was helpful in some way, and I hope you're all doing well. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.